There we are. I'm live. My girlfriend heard the music and she goes, "Are you going live?" I say, "Oh yeah, I got something pretty important to talk about." Didn't even go shave, didn't change my shirt. I had to jump on here right away to talk to you guys about this. It's Friday night. Some of you are out partying, out to dinner with your friends. I'm here on YouTube creating content and bringing you the real news. So you guys are not going to believe this. Well, some of you are. But there's some really good things happening. Matt Gaetz just shared a tweet. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and share that. There's 12 people here, so welcome, you guys. You're going to really love this information. Let's see here. Share screen. And let's go to Chrome tab. Let's share this tweet first. Check this out. Okay, there you go. You can see it. All right. I better go back to that. All right. So Matt Gaetz says, and this was at 7:35. It is now 7:48 here. So 8 minutes ago, Matt Gaetz tweets out, "I don't care that this is being done by a GOP sheriff. It's awful to harass citizens because you think they may commit crimes, hoping to make their lives miserable." He tagged Governor Ron DeSantis and said he has the authority to remove Sheriff Chris Noko, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and should consider doing so. Okay, so this right here, folks, if you are new to my channel, this is called organized stalking and harassment, or gang stalking. And this crosses political parties. Left does it, the right does it. It's a deep state thing, and it is the targeting programs you hear people talk about when they say, "I'm a targeted individual." This is part of it. This is just part of it. So if any of you remember Bill Barr a while back talking about how he supports pre-crime laws, this is it. This is pre-crime laws. So this sheriff is being sued. All right, let me go back to. All right, looks like we got some comments. I know some people are excited to hear this. Hi, Anna M. How you doing? Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you, Tanya. Thank you for being here. Our cat is excited. Listen to that. Wow, wow. Hello. Eric, how you doing? Let's see, Candace, please check out the videos uploaded on my channel. Know the truth regarding gang stalking. I've tried to tell people that it's more complex than they realize, and it's all spiritual. It's not all spiritual. It is compartmentalized government programs, and this video is about that exactly. We're going to break that down. So, I mean, not to just disagree with you. Might be spiritual as well. Seems like it is, but this is definitely compartmentalized programs. All right, let's go to this article. Let's go to this article. Let's share another. Let's get rid of this one. Remove. So this might tell us why Matt Gaetz is being attacked in the press recently, because he's onto this and he's going to put the word out about this. And maybe we'll try to find the article about Bill Barr supporting pre-crime laws. So this is like straight out of, what was the Tom Cruise movie, you guys? Where they had pre-crime laws and they would go try to arrest people before they committed a crime. What was that movie? Minority Report. Thank you. Thank you for jumping in there. Yeah, Minority Report. So that movie turned out to be a reality. The cat is really excited. Share screen. Sure. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm trying to do a live stream here about something kind of important, try to make your life better. All right. Here is the article. This is from the Tampa Bay Times. All right, now remember, these programs are federally funded. So it doesn't matter if you live in a blue county, blue state, red county, red state. If the people that are taking the federal money and are involved in these programs, they are Stasi. No matter what name they give themselves, left, right, blah, blah, blah. This is communist activity, all right? East German, Stasi, targeting. The exact same thing that the Germans did, the East Germans did to government dissidents, only with a lot more technology. And, all right, so I'll just read this right now, okay? Lawsuit. Pasco intelligence program violated citizens' rights. So this comes from Department of Homeland Security programs that I've talked about for years. Started documenting and reporting myself going through this November 17th of 2017, and I was arrested 3 weeks later for retaliation. I was set up and arrested, and because they weren't happy about me putting information out about this. I still had some, I still had a good name at the time. I hadn't been arrested for anything, for any felonies. You know, I'm a former Air Force firefighter, former Air Force journalist. Those are the two different jobs that I did while I was in the Air Force. You know, I had some people that listened to me, you know, so they needed to find a way to slander me and defame me, stigmatize me by arresting me and then putting me through this hell. And this Pasco County Sheriff's Department sounds like they've been doing the same thing. This is happening all over the United States, all over the world, as a matter of fact. And you guys that are TIs, targeted individuals that have gone through this, personally, you will really appreciate that this is happening right now, because it's unconstitutional. It violates all of your rights. You are treated like a terrorist, regardless if you are or not. Yeah, you're treated like a terrorist, no due process. They just decide that they're going to make your life miserable. And it goes over that in this here. I'm going to go back to StreamYard here and make sure that you guys can see that okay. All right, so that's up on the screen. All right, let's get to this article, y'all. Published March 11th, updated March 11th. All right, let me clear my throat, use my best broadcast journalist voice here. 4 Pasco County residents are suing Sheriff Chris Noko in federal court, alleging his intelligence program violated their constitutional rights. The plaintiffs, 3 of whom were featured in a recent Tampa Bay Times investigation into the sheriff's office intelligence arm, say they were harassed, fined, and even arrested by overzealous deputies who overstepped their bounds. They want a judge to put an end to the program. What program is this that they're speaking of? The program. It doesn't specifically say which program, but let's keep reading. They want a judge to put an end to the program, which targets people the sheriff's office deems likely to commit future crimes. and their friends and family members. So it's an all-encompassing thing. We know in the FISA court, at the FISC, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, they have what's called a two-hop system. So if you're targeted, anybody you're in communication with gets surveilled and possibly targeted as well. Anybody that they have communication with gets targeted and surveilled as well. So say there's a parent in the home and they've got adult kids, those kids would get targeted. Aunt and uncle that come over and hang out and they listen to the person's testimony of being targeted, and they might advocate for them, they could get targeted as well, just for standing up for their family members' constitutional rights. All right. So they want to put an end to the program. The program. Which program is that? I'd like to hear the name. All right. So here in quotes, the goal here is to shut this program down and make sure it stops. Both of these clients and everybody in Pasco County, said Robert Johnson, an attorney with his Institute for Justice, the national public interest law firm representing the plaintiffs. So here is the actual court documents, the filing. So we'll go back through that here in a minute. It looks kind of long. All right, forward. The sheriff's office said Wednesday it had not been made aware of the lawsuit and declined to comment. We look forward, they're police officers, they know not to say anything. We look forward to defending any lawsuits in which we may be named in the proper venue and will not be party to litigation via the media, spokeswoman Amanda Hunter said. The agency has previously said it stands behind its intelligence program and credited it with reduction in burglaries, larcenies, and auto thefts over the last decade. So they're admitting that they've had a pre-crime program for at least the last decade. The decline mirrors those in nearby police jurisdictions. Is that decline because they've figured out a way to put all kinds of people in prison, or they're padding their numbers, or I don't know, there's more to this. Although NOCO launched the program shortly after being named sheriff in 2011, interesting, because Department of Defense or Department of Justice watch listing guidance was updated in 2012. All right, the details of how it works were not known to the public until the Times began reporting on it last year. So this would have to do with the Patriot Act, Department of Homeland Security, fusion centers, mass data gathering, those fusion centers getting your personal data and using it to stalk, harass, terrorize you and your family. All right. That's not from the article. That's from my personal experience and research. The news organization found that the sheriff's office used arrest histories and information from police reports, including whether people have witnessed or been the victim of a crime, to determine which residents are most likely to break the law. Deputies then make repeated visits to those individuals' homes, even when there is no warrant or evidence of a crime. During some visits, the Times reported deputies surrounded the targets' homes in the middle of the night. On others, they wrote or threatened to write code enforcement citations for minor infractions like overgrown grass. Sometimes they arrested family members of those being targeted. That word keeps coming up, targeted. One former deputy said the objective was to make people's lives miserable. Well, they're really damn good at that. I've been miserable for quite a while here in Maricopa County in Avondale, Arizona, where they use these exact programs. And again, I've been documenting and reporting on that for 4 years. Institute for Justice attorneys said their organization started looking into the situation after reading the Times report. The Virginia-based firm describes itself as libertarian and says it files lawsuits on behalf of individuals who are denied their constitutional rights. The behavior of the Pasco County Sheriff's Office is outrageous, Attorney Ari Bargill said. There's no such thing as innocent until predicted guilty, and that's exactly how the program operates. Johnson said the sheriff's office was violating the constitutional right to be secure in one's own home. He said that the agency was also violating residents' due process rights because individuals who are targeted can't challenge their status. That is very true. Being on this list is almost like being on probation for future crimes that haven't happened yet, he said. If you are on real probation, you get a hearing. It's problematic that they put you on this future probation without any type of hearing. The 4 plaintiffs were either targets of the parents of people who were targeted. Let me read that again. The 4 plaintiffs were either targets or the parents of people who were targeted. Robert A. Jones III, whose teenage son was targeted, said when he stopped complying with constant demands from deputies to search his home, he was arrested on charges of marijuana possession and child neglect. Both charges were dropped. Jones was also issued several code enforcement citations and not told about them. He said he was then arrested for failing to appear in court. So they charged him with something, didn't tell him about it, and then gave him a failure to appear. That sounds like a setup to me. I don't know what it sounds like to you. Jones hopes that the lawsuit will set a precedent so nobody else faces what he did. That's why I'm doing this. I don't want to see anybody else have to go through what I've been through. This is torture. This stalking and harassment is just a small part of the all-encompassing targeting program that I've experienced. I'm sure some people experience different levels of it, but I've been the lucky recipient of all of it. I think it's everybody's hope that they were put on this earth for a reason, he said. If I hadn't gone to jail, he added, maybe nothing changes. Maybe these guys get away with this forever. Tammy Heilman, whose teenage son was also a target, was arrested too. So it looks like this is the family here. Tammy Heilman was arrested twice after her teenage son was identified as a target. They need to stop, she recently said. In September of 2016, a deputy showed up to ask about a dirt bike he thought her son had purchased with stolen money. Heilman said she wouldn't speak without her lawyer there. The deputy stopped Heilman after she drove away and opened her car door, later alleging that neither she nor her 7-year-old daughter were wearing seatbelts. Heilman says her daughter was wearing a seatbelt, but she removed it when the door opened. Body camera video of the interaction shows Heilman calling 911 for help. A team of deputies arrived and forced Heilman out of the car. She was taken to jail and charged with resisting an officer, battery on law enforcement officer, and providing false information to deputies. 2 years later, she was arrested again, this time for opening her screen door into a deputy's chest. After 76 days in jail, Heilman took a plea deal that allowed her to return. Sorry, this just automatically moved. For opening her screen door into a deputy's chest. After 76 days in jail, Heilman took a plea deal that allowed her to return home but made her a convicted felon. Gee, that sounds familiar. They need to stop, she told the Times. They have impacted a lot of people's lives in a negative way. In her case, she said the damage has been beyond repair. The Institute for Justice isn't the only organization working to address aspects of the Pasco intelligence program. Earlier this week, the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund filed a public records request seeking to learn more about a separate but related initiative that uses confidential data from the Pasco School District and the State Department Children and Families to identify kids who could fall into a life of crime. The Sheriff's Office has said it uses the information to offer mentoring and resources to local students. But critics say some of that data is biased against children of color and with disabilities. And they worry a program of this nature could contribute to the school to prison pipeline. This has no boundaries when it comes to ethnicity. If somebody has the capacity to put you on your list, they could give a shit less what ethnicity, what religion, what political party you are. If you are a threat to uncovering their corruption, they can throw you on this list and stalk, harass you, and systematically destroy your life. Just like the Germans did, the East Communist Germans did, and that's why they called it Zersetzung, meaning decomposition. They decompose your life. They erode every aspect of your life. and to make your life hell. This is no place for predictive policing technology in school settings, said Clarence Oko, a legal defense and education fund fellow. The school district, which is being asked to provide the records, has received the request and plans to respond, a spokesperson said. Okay, so looks like that is the end of the article. Why all of a sudden my computer is just frozen? Huh. That never happens. Okay, so it's just frozen. Hardly respond to the up down arrow. There we go. There we go. I pay for a pretty good internet service here, so that doesn't make any sense. Okay, again, I'm not anti-police officer. I am anti-state enforcement agent that will violate people's constitutional rights and operate like the Stasi police. Now, this guy is supposedly a right-wing sheriff. A Republican sheriff should be all about protecting people's constitutional rights, and this type of targeting program has absolutely nothing to do with protecting people's constitutional rights. And like anything, these programs can be hacked. They have a cover story of, oh, this is for the betterment of the community. It's to keep the community safe. But if you go up high enough, there are people that have access to these people and say, here's a name. We want this person on this list. And if they haven't committed a crime, you guys make sure that you torture, stalk, and harass them, slander them, make their life miserable to where they're completely exhausted and tormented, to where they might not be thinking properly and then might actually act out in aggression at the people stalking and harassing them. And then boom, they're ready to set you up, throw you in jail, and put you away. And then this program, with their statistics, shows, oh, well, this person committed a crime, even though that crime was fabricated over a long period of time through organized stalking, harassment, psychological torture, all kinds of other different types of torture, psychological torture, asset targeting, slander campaigns. I won't even get into the tech harassment that they use in this, because that's a whole nother talk show. So now they've admitted that they've had an intelligence program running since 2011. They got sued, and they had to admit that they actually do have an intelligence program. Before, anybody that asked if there was some kind of intelligence program or anything like this, they would gaslight them and they'd say, oh, you're crazy, you need to take your pills, check this person into a 30-day hold, they're delusional or schizophrenic. Now we see a sheriff's department admitting that they have a pre-crime intelligence program. This is a big deal, folks. Just reading some of you guys' comments here. Okay. Oh, there's 60 of you guys here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I am stoked. Somebody's username in the chats here. All right, let's do something here. Let's look up My computer is moving at a snail's pace right now. And I've got a pretty damn fast computer, so. All right, let's just pull up. I just typed in Bill Barr pre-crime laws. Let's pull up the very first thing that comes up. Let's just do that. Let's see. Advocates for self-government. All right, so let's go to that. Let's remove this. All right, and let's go to this article about pre-crime laws. Now, this is just the first thing that I pulled up on Google. I actually used Google, not DuckDuckGo. All right, can you guys see that? All right. Never been to this website before. I have no idea who their writers are, what they're all about, but let's just see what this says about the DOJ's new pre-crime program. It says it's straight out of the Minority Report, just like the commenter reminded me of what the name of the video or the film was about pre-crimes. So when was this written? 1 year ago. All right, 1 year ago. By Advocates for Self-Governance. In the middle of last month, okay, now this might have some negative tones towards Trump. I am a Trump supporter. I think he knows about these things. I don't think Bill Barr was on his side the whole time. This whole thing, when it goes all the way up in this, I guess, what would we call it? A sting operation, the largest sting operation to ever exist in the United States. There are a lot of people that look like good guys that are bad guys, a lot of bad guys that are good guys, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing is as it seems. So, and again, I'm reading this article, so whatever the person writing the article says, that's not coming from me, but I will commentate on it. So, in the middle of last month, the Trump administration, so while Trump was the president, doesn't mean that Trump did this. This was a Bill Barr thing, so let's keep that in mind. The Trump administration unveiled a pre-crime program that would make any lover of civil liberties shriek. Whitney Webb of Mint Press News reported that U.S. Attorney General William Barr, there you go, Bill Barr, issued a memorandum to all U.S. attorneys, law enforcement agencies, and top-ranking justice officials announcing the imminent implementation of a new national disruption and early engagement program aimed at detecting potential mass shooters. Yeah, they're not looking at the root cause of why those mass shooters become mass shooters. MKUltra programs, 150 of them. They said MKUltra went away in 1975, and then what do you know? Bill Clinton apologizes to a whole bunch of people for them being subjected to MKUltra programs. So we know that it was at least around in the 90s because Clinton apologized. We're sorry, y'all. We're sorry we put you through these programs. Oh, they exist in the 90s. I thought the church committee said that MKUltra was no longer, a thing. All that went away. All right. So an early engagement program aimed at detecting potential mass shooters before they commit any crime. Barr called for the Department of Justice and the FBI to spearhead an effort to assess and engage potential mass shooters before they strike. Right? I'm telling you, these programs are creating the mass shooters. So that's the cover story saying that they're trying to stop the mass shooters. That's all bullshit. The FBI, every single one of these mass shooters, social engineering, Manchurian candidates were on an FBI watch list. They're surveilled 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They know if they're buying firearms. They know what plans they're making. they know where they're going, and they let them carry out these acts of violence in order to use them for immediate social engineering, plastering the story over every mainstream media outlet and saying guns are bad, let's take away the guns. And those just happened to skyrocket right after the Smith-Mundt Act was revised, which was put into place in 1948, saying that propaganda cannot be used against the American people. So right after that was revised, Obama got rid of the Smith-Mundt Act. Those shootings skyrocketed. So there are some actual shooters that have been put through this organized stalking and harassment and just driven absolutely bonkers to the point of acting out in violence. And then some of this is street theater. FF, hoaxes, stuff like that. So there are different reasons that this is happening. But these, quote, pre-crime programs are not stopping the mass shooters. They are creating them. Put simply, the bias of policies implemented after 9/11. Oh, they beat me to it. Okay, sorry, I beat them to it. Early engagement tactics, new programs, plans to use originated from previous plans dealing with terroristic threats. Put simply, the bias of the policies implemented after 9/11 are also the pillars of the early engagement tactics that Bill Barr intends to use to identify potential criminals. The key word being potential, thus indicating the pre-crime nature of this program. As soon as he came out and said that he supports pre-crime laws, I was like, oh God, I thought this guy was doing something good. He's sounding really deep statey right now. Nobody that is a constitutional, nobody that supports a constitutional republic would promote pre-crime laws. Mass surveillance will likely play a major role in the program. Algorithms used to analyze massive amounts of data appear to be a major feature of this program. Most of this data is used to find certain patterns, such as composite symptoms of mental illness. So like saying you don't want to wear a mask or get an injection, or, you know, saying that 9/11 was bullshit, which it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt now that the whole thing was a narrative to enact the Patriot Act to put in this mass surveillance. So back in July, Barr gave the keynote speech at the 2019 International Conference on Cybersecurity, ICCS, and called on makers of consumer electronics and applications using encryption to provide a backdoor for government entities, also a violation of your Fourth Amendment, entities such as law enforcement. In Barr's view, obtaining access to encrypted communications is an issue of public safety. Although many tech companies take pride in protecting their consumers' privacy, Barr believes that a major incident may occur at any time that will galvanize public opinion on these issues. Shootings like the one in El Paso have indeed catalyzed such support for these kinds of measures. So yeah, problem, reaction, solution paradigm, otherwise known as the Hegelian dialect. Create the problem, there's a visceral reaction by the public, and then they go, don't worry, we have the solution. We're going to surveil you and collect all of your data and put you through this organized stalking and harassment program if we think that you might not agree with us in the future. And then you'll be the next social engineering Manchurian candidate. Even after the El Paso shooting, President Trump even floated the idea of creating a new federal agency called HARPA. Oh, holy shit. HARPA, H-A-R-P-A. So there's DARPA, which is Department of Defense, and then there's IARPA, which is the feds. I have not heard of HARPA. That's a new one. Andrew's getting her shovel out. She's getting ready to start digging. Maybe even the jackhammer. Wow, HARPA. I just got goosebumps. Good Lord, please tell me that President Trump isn't supporting this. Anyway, HARPA, that would cooperate with the Department of Justice to use breakthrough technologies with high specificity and sensitivity for early diagnosis of neuropsychiatric violence. It specifically includes advanced analytical tools based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. So you guys may have heard me talk about the artificial intelligence program, JADE and JADE 2, excuse me, which is part of the JADE Helm program. And that is what we think is the artificial intelligence program that basically runs a lot of this pre-crime type programs. The program would be gathered from consumer electronic devices and information turned over by healthcare providers on people. Good Lord, could it be any more Stasi? On people they deem to be a threat. In some, many of the activities that everyday people participate in could be subject to surveillance, and eventually these people could be turned over to government authorities. Pretty scary stuff. For those of you that already experienced this, you know how scary it is. You know how invasive it is. You know how wrong it is. But for those of you that are still new to my channel and you're learning about this is sorry, I'm just going to start it or keep going. It gets even worse when looking at the bigger picture. The FBI and other federal agencies will play a major role in these surveillance programs. So when they say FBI and other federal agencies, so Department of Homeland Security, FBI Infragard, INFRAGARD, Citizen Corps, the FBI Secret Surveillance Group. If you go to the FBI website, the Secret Surveillance Group says that they follow citizens on foot, in public transportation, and in their personal vehicles. So they're literally following them through town. And if you happen to take the MMPI, the Minnesota Multiphasic Inventory, and answer on that test that people are following you through town, they will literally deem you delusional or schizophrenic for reporting this. And that should worry all Americans, given the track record of these organizations. Yeah. In an internal memo that was recorded, that was recently made public, so-called conspiracy theories were connected to domestic terror threats. Even academia has jumped into link conspiracy theorists with mental illness. Exactly. We started covering an actual conspiracy like 9/11, like the conspiracy that I'm talking about, the scam Department of Homeland Security watch list used for profit. They'll try to call you crazy. So mental health has generally been a tool that the state uses to justify undermining people's rights. By tying it to, hey, excuse me, sir. By tying it to conspiracy theorizing, the government is opening up a whole new avenue of encroachments. Simply questioning government narratives could leave people susceptible to being categorized as mentally ill, which could land them on watch lists, subjecting otherwise peaceful individuals to government snooping. To its credit, the Trump administration has resisted calls. Oh, okay, here we go. This is looking better. To its credit, the Trump administration has resisted calls for passing specific gun control legislation, such as universal background checks or red flag gun confiscation orders, which would only add to the federal government's already long list of gun control measures. However, undermining basic rights such as privacy and due process are unacceptable. These rights don't exist in a vacuum, and they are interconnected. Breathing a sigh of relief when an administration decides not to pass gun control, but turning a blind eye to legitimate violations of due process through minority report style programs does freedom advocates no favors. This is a great article so far, by the way, Advocates for Self-Government. I'm not sure how much I like your logo there, but so far a well-written article. Federalizing law enforcement is not the way to go either. Instead, a modest proposal to devote more federal power to the states and let state and local law enforcement agencies handle these issues. Similarly, mental health can be also tackled at low levels of government. Both state government and private actors. Oh, private actors, who would those be? Like some gang stalkers, some live action role players? people we refer to as bad actors or gang stalkers, LARPs. Let me read that again. Both state and private actors, I personally prefer the latter, should rebuild mental health institutions so that, wait, what? Should rebuild mental health institutions so that the mentally ill who actually pose a threat to others receive the treatment they need. More importantly, let's have a frank conversation about our crumbling civil society. As political scientist Robert Putnam famously wrote, I don't know who that is, we're bowling alone. These days, as many private organizations, such as the Boy Scouts of America, are shutting down their operations or are witnessing declines in membership, many of the organizations have kept America's adolescents from partaking in destructive social behavior. Reviving these institutions will do a lot more to curb violence than any expansion in government will ever do. Further, they allow us to have safer communities while preserving our cherished civil liberties. This person never do any research about the shit that goes on in the Boy Scouts? That's another talk show. All right, so that's a good article. Good job. All right, so Minority Report, Pre-Crime Laws, William Barr. Matt Gaetz shares this article on Twitter. Just a recap here. Let's go back to it. All right, here's how I found this. Shared at 7:35 Mountain Standard Time here in Arizona. He says, I don't care that this is being done by a GOP sheriff. It's awful to harass citizens because you think they may commit crimes, hoping to make their lives miserable. Governor Ron DeSantis has the authority to remove Chris Noco and should consider doing so. Again, I don't care if this guy is a GOP sheriff, if he's a George Soros-funded sheriff, whatever label they want to give themselves, if they're taking part in pre-crime laws that completely violate constitutional rights and make things worse, they're Stasi, period. They straight out of the playbook from communist Stasi East Germany. Which, by the way, if you haven't heard me say this over and over and over again, when the Department of Homeland Security was created, they consulted Marcus Wolf, who was the second in charge director of the Stasi police, another guy named Evgeny Primakov, who was a KGB agent, both communist countries. Just reading a few of you guys' comments here. Truth is criminal says, are you kidding me, Michael? Absolutely, Trump is supporting this. I don't want to believe he is. I still don't believe he is. I believe that he has our best interest in mind. If I were to learn that down the road, I would be very disappointed. But we'll see. Only time will tell. I hope you're wrong. I really hope you're wrong. Still Blessed said, Earth sucks. You know, I kind of agree with you right now. Huh? You said something about you're done with this place. You're ready to move on to the next something. What? Yeah. What'd you say? Yep. Entropy's Gamer said, Earth shouldn't suck. I agree. I mean, can't we all just get along? I agree with Rodney King. Can't we all just get along? Which, by the way, in my opinion, Rodney King was the beta test for George Floyd. Check out those scenarios and tell me I'm wrong. Okay. I've been on here for 46 minutes. I don't want this to be too long. I want people to go in and check this out. Let's see. Is there one more thing I might be able to share here? Share screen. Application window, your entire screen now. Okay. I was going to share a document about that Karen Melton Stewart. She worked for the NSA for 28 years. She's written some documents explaining how this is a DHS watch list scam for profit, possibly costing up to $3 trillion a year of taxpayer money, and supporting the private prison industry, big pharma, and the mental health racket. All right. So all of that being said, I've been going through this for years, and I've been fighting to keep a roof over my head. I've been fighting to keep my business open. I've recently, over the last couple of months, got 2 part-time jobs, one working for a media company doing photo, video, broadcast stuff, and like clothing companies, rap groups, football tournaments. We cover all that kind of stuff. We do the media production for them. And I've also been doing some landscaping, trying to do anything I can. Waiting to hear back from an auction house tomorrow to see if I can go in and work for like 12 to 14 hours to just pay the bills. I'm about $1,000 short to pay my rent and my bills this month. It's the 3rd of April. Today the 3rd? Anyway, it's a few days past when rent is due. That's a little over $1,300. Sales were terrible in my store this month. I had to put everything 75% off. Nothing was selling, so I had to lower the prices way down so things would just sell. And I'm just short on money. And that's not just because it was a bad year or I didn't put enough effort in. It's from years and years of being targeted and systematically, piece by piece, bit by bit, being torn down financially, stress levels raised intentionally, losing all my money in court, paying an attorney $40,000, and then being railroaded through the court, kangaroo court, all of it. Lost my house, blah, 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 country song. So if you guys could share this video with people, this is my PayPal address. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the, can I copy and paste that? Nope. I need some help. I just need to pay the bills. I'm not being a PAY tree. I'm just asking for help. And I only ask for help when I really need to. So for those of you fellow targeted individuals, I don't expect any of you to be sending me any kind of money because I know you're going through the same thing that I am. And you're trying to make ends meet as well. But if you happen to have like a philanthropist, uncle, or relative, or somebody like that that would like to help, a patriot, veteran, somebody that is reporting the real news to people, the things that you will not hear on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, even Fox, please share this with them. Anderson Cooper gets paid $12 million a year to just lie to your face and to put you into a coma of false information. Mockingbird Media. I do completely the opposite. I tell you the truth. I tell you things that get me attacked and targeted even more. So if you could please help me out, just to keep the roof over my head, be able to pay some of these bills, I would really appreciate it. Let's see. Can I go to my eBay store here? Let's see here.
Somebody asked if you have any Christian spiritual hats.
We've got all kinds of Christian and spiritual hats.
And somebody asked a couple times, do you still talk to the Arizona auditor?
No, I do not talk to the Arizona auditor anymore. That ended up being not a very good situation. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now. All right, so I'm going to my eBay store. I'm going to post a link. It's amazing how slow the internet is right now. It works fine all day long until I do one of these. Here's the link to my eBay store. Everything in the store is 75% off. Okay. I'll even go one step further. For those of you, who was that asked for spiritual or? Okay. I'm going to go into the store here and I'm going to search for that type of thing. I'm just going to type in Christian. I believe that's what you were looking for. And let's see. This is only coming up with 7 results with items that we listed with the word Christian in it. But yeah, you can do your own search. Type in cross or Jesus or church or spiritual. There's a bunch of different keywords that you can probably use. And there's the link for that.
One took a picture of it and sold it. It said spiritual warfare.
Oh, yeah.
This camo hat and it had praying hands with God tags on it.
Yep, that was cool. All right, everybody. I am going to shut this down before it hits the hour mark. But again, if you guys could please, if you're still on Twitter, whatever social media that you're on, I could really use the help to pay the bills. I'll take a screenshot of my bank account to prove that I'm broke as a joke. I'm just trying to pay the bills. Put that on Twitter or something. I've done it before. I have no shame when it comes to saying that I've had a tough time getting through this and doing what I need to do to make it through. And with your help, that will be possible. And I'm not going to give up either. I'm going to keep working as much as I can. If I have to, I'm going to get up at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow and make it to work by 7 and then work till 7 or till possibly 9 o'clock at night. You know, keep digging ditches, using a jackhammer, busting my back. Yeah, and I've been working with Andrea. She works for a landscaping company. She brings me to work with her, and we both bust our ass doing manual labor, putting in sprinkler systems, you know, irrigation, landscaping, putting in how many tons of rock and dirt did we move? 20 tons of rock, 20 tons of dirt to do this rockscaping job. So, you know, we've both been working hard. And anyway, I'll quit talking about all that. And I appreciate you guys all being here. Share this video with your friends. If they say, if you've tried to explain to them, these guys are driving me nuts. They're following me through town. They're making my life miserable. I'm getting blacklisted from work. And somebody says, that's conspiracy theory. Show them this video. there's, oh, you know what we didn't do? Okay, I'll take the last couple minutes. We got about 5 minutes left. Let's look through this. I almost forgot to do that. All right, let's go to the lawsuit. Let's see what it says. All right, United States District Court. Can you guys see that okay? United States District Court, Middle District of Florida, Tampa Division. Delania Taylor, Tammy Heilman, Darlene Deegan, and Robert A. Jones III versus Chris Noko in his official capacity, Pasco County Sheriff. Plaintiff's complaint for damages declaratory and injunctive relief. Introduction. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office punishes people for crimes they have not yet committed and may never commit. It first predicts that certain people may commit future crimes, and then it harasses the people and their relatives and friends with relentless visits to their homes at all hours of the day, with unwanted stops and seizures, with repeated citation of petty code violations. In the words of former Pasco deputy, the policy is meant to make their lives miserable until they move or sue. Okay, I won't reread all of that. We went over that. Jurisdiction and venue. Okay, so this just goes through a lot of the complaints of the targeted person, their interactions with the Pasco Police Department or Sheriff's Department, the fines that were incurred, so here's the thing. They want to harass you until you move or sue. Well, one, you're broke because you've been paying all these fines. Your business is attacked. You don't have the money to sue. I don't know how these people came up with money to sue. But if you move, this follows you no matter where you go in the United States. So they're just harassing you to the point to go to another place where you're going to be on another list and you get harassed by that department. So there's no escaping this. It's just going from one place to the next. All right, this is 55 pages long. I'll probably have to go through that. Count two on behalf of the plaintiff's First Amendment Freedom Association, 42 U.S. Code 123. All right, here's what I'll do. I'll put the link to this article so you guys can read the article and go through the court. Oh, thank you very much. I just got a, what's this called? A super chat. $20 from Radix Virum. Thank you so much. I appreciate that more than I can even explain right now. Thank you. Thank you very much. I forgot that I even had that. Okay, so here is the article from the Tampa Bay Times. And that has the court document linked to that article, so you can read up on that. And you know, maybe just that right there. This is a court document. This could create new case law. So if this exact type of case has not been won in court, that's going to create new case law. So if you have to, it sets the precedence, exactly. So if you, Andrea's over here helping me. Say hi.
Hi.
So if you set that if this court case sets the precedence for case law, oh, what the heck?
I didn't do it.
Wow. My damn toe just went numb. Thought I got bit by a scorpion or something. All right. Anyway, that's interesting timing. That feels really weird. That's a whole nother live stream. Anyway, this sets precedents, creates case law for you to refer to. If you decide that it's time for you to sue the people that have been targeting you, stalking you, and harassing you, you have this case to go on. I'm not an attorney. I'm not telling you how to proceed with all of this, but keep this case. Show your attorney. Show if somebody sends you to a psychological evaluation, take this case with you. Try not to go to the psychological evaluation, but you might not have any choice. As a matter of fact, I just gave myself a great idea. If I get forced to go to this one they're trying to force me to go to, I'm going to bring this with me. All right, I'm going to end on that. Hey, there's hope, everybody. There's hope that these kind of programs will stop and light will be shined on the true intent of these programs. That it's not about safety. It's not about keeping your community safe and stopping crime. It's about harassing people to the point of creating more crime, filling private prisons, mental institutions, putting people on psychotropic and SSRI drugs. So we're getting there, everybody. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate all of you taking part in the live chat. Thank you. I got another super chat for $10. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. Again, share this video with your friends and your family. If you're having a hard time explaining to them what you're going through, or if somebody doesn't believe you, this is proof. This is proof. The sheriff's department in Pasco, Florida, said that they've been involved in this program, which they don't name the program, but since 2011, and said they use intelligence. They have an intelligence program to do this. So what's the name of the program? Who's it funded by? And what will be the outcome of this case? I'll keep an eye on that, and I'll keep you guys updated as long as I'm around. So, all right, everybody, have a great night. We're checking out. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.